All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elect in 1/3. And Adon Ratazah, this lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. And the Wadi Bahashem Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash will give me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, Trump says the N-word live on television. Okay. And I originally wanted to title it, Jake is worried about the wrong N-word, because, when you see this title, your mind immediately makes you think about the byword. It makes you think about the below. Okay, not the above. It makes you think about the stagnant bubble of racism, reparations, and the here and now. And we get the plight of that, but there is something far more concerning pertaining to the N-word that you should be worried about, and that N-word is nuclear. Okay, now I'm gonna play the video, but I wanted to just express that real quick. Let me check the audio. All right, so let me show you. It's a quick 20-second video. Okay, so check this out. All right, Trump says the N-word live on television. Okay, edge of the right ceasefire between nuclear armed India and Pakistan.
Stronger. To a point where the next one's going to be, the N-word. You know what the N-word is, right?
Nuclear.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
I figured you'd want to clean that up. No, it's the N-word. That's a very nasty word, right? In a lot of ways. The N-word used in a nuclear sense, that's the worst thing that can happen.
See that? The N-word used in a nuclear sense. The N-word used in a nuclear sense is the worst thing that could happen. Okay, so while Jake is here and down here on the bellows of Babylon in a very low condition, the most that Jake is thinking about is fighting an Edomite for calling him an N-word while he calls a significant other his nigga. So this just goes to show you how low our people, are at when it comes to the demographics, okay, when it comes to the global problems, when it comes to the economic issues that we all collectively are seeing. Our people are not ready for Babylon to be destroyed. They actually want to stay in Babylon. So when the first time you hear the word N-word, you're thinking about how Babylon's taught you what the N-word is, okay? So the real N-word, is nuclear. And the scriptures let us know that Babylon, who has called you the N-word since your existence here in America, it will end with the N-word, and that will be nuclear. Okay, so you want to make sure you got your eye on the right prize. This is Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. And one thing that has been heavy on my spirit as of late is I am tired, if you will. I am tired of the talking points of just reparations. When you think about it, why do our people ask for reparations instead of removal? Why do you want to stay somewhere that you were brought to? Why do you want to stay in the jail? Why don't you want to leave the jail? So when you actually sit back and think about it, if you're just focused, okay, if you're just focused on racism and the N-word and equality, you are not in the right state of mind for your people and the existence of your people, okay? Because this place that is not our rest, Babylon, is actually prophesied to be destroyed through the N-word, meaning nuclearly. So when you sit back and watch these talking points from these so-called black leaders, they are not leading you to a path of freedom, but actually to a path of destruction. Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people, of these so-called black people, of these so-called brown people, of these so-called indigenous people, cause them to err. Gad wants the land back, but the land's going to be destroyed. Judah wants payback, but he wants to stay in the land that's going to get destroyed. The northern kingdom's fighting to get to the land that was taken from them, that's getting ready to be destroyed. Who in their right mind would want to stay here or have those who oppressed you now pay you so you can still be shoulder to shoulder with them? You should want this place to be destroyed. See, Jake is worried about the wrong N-word, okay? You are worried about the wrong N-word. Look at this real quick, okay? Donald Trump says the N-word on national TV, but it's not what you think. So technically, could you say this is a clickbait video? I mean, if you want, but it's more of an enlightening educational video or a perspective to the N-word with a different perception, okay? It's a different perception. It's the N-word, but not what you think. It's like classes. It's like classes of intellect, okay? There's certain things that you may say that another person in a different position may say the same word, but for them it means something completely different. Fat, PHAT, right? It says during Fox News interview, Donald Trump uses the phrase the N-word to, I might put in quotations like that, to refer to nuclear. So while you're sitting here worried about N-word, nigger, they're talking nuclear war. So what are you going to do in that time period? You see, what would you do in that time period? Okay. And the scriptures actually speak that this age will end with doom and gloom. Okay. Let me show you that real quick. John Lavelle says, oh, and by the way, disbelievers will have a painful doom. A quote by Mike Johnson with the water for that. Let me put 16:11 and let's just put gloom. Okay. We go into the Apocrypha. I believe it's 2 Esdras 5, or maybe it's doom. Excuse me. I always hear gloom when I read doom. So let me do this. 16:11. Let's put doom again. I think it's 2 Esdras 5. Oh, look what's going on. Verifying that I'm a human. All right, so we're just going to slowly back away. It's going to put this in. This will end with doom. Okay. 2 Esdras 7, excuse me. 2 Esdras 7:43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time. See, him not calling you the N-word no more is not you now finding freedom. Okay. You getting reparations is now not healing your ancestors. This place is prophesied to be destroyed for us to be free. The mere fact that the third world's woe is getting ready to take place is because of us being scattered and our lands being parted by the heathen. So there's bigger issues to worry about than the N-word, meaning nigger or nigga, okay? Their N-word is nuclear. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. See, immortality doesn't come from reparations. Immortality doesn't come because they passed a law to make it illegal to say the N-word, okay? Immortality comes through the deliverance, through the new covenant, all right? We are waiting to be delivered. We're in the limbo of from the messenger of the covenant, okay? So there's a lot. We need this N-word to be on the news more and more. And this N-word is referring to nuclear. So Jake doesn't understand, man, okay? I look at other Hebrew Israelite camps. If they're just pushing, cleaning up the community, they're not men of the Lord. The community is going to burn. Okay. It's going to be destroyed. If they're just fixating themselves on how to stop youth violence, they're not men of the Lord. It says that the love of many will wax cold. The things that these false camps are using to make our people think that they're here to help, they're actually trying to like quail prophecy, the steps of prophecy. You got to let the steps of prophecy play out. And guess what? Esau's going to start saying the N-word even more. He's going to say the N-word as far as a byword to you. And he's also going to be saying the N-word as far as nuclear because of the Third World's War. So what N-word are you focused on? This is Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err. And I'm just so tired of that 1993, black, bald head. Like, Jake is so far stuck in the past that he hasn't even caught up to the relativity of what being free is as a people today. We are being freed spiritually and mentally, while they just want to be freed physically, but they still have an inadequate mind, okay? They're not ready to be freed on the level that that Babylon will provide, because let Babylon free you, okay? Jake will smoke himself to death, drink himself to death, screw himself to death, okay? It says, and they that are led of them are destroyed. And that's a very stagnant talking point of freedom. It's just the N-word. It's just equal rights. Do you know before the do you know that the civil rights was actually a plan to integrate you, to have Esau's hands over you? Do you know in Alabama, they actually wanted their own black buses, but the beloved Martin Luther King, who was funded by the Rothschilds, he said it wouldn't be a good idea for us to have our own. We need to integrate with them. So your leaders are causing you to err, and they still use the emotional talking point of the N-word. Now that is taking you completely out of reality. So when you hear the N-word in 2025, you still think it means nigga. But in 2025, when he's saying the N-word, he's talking about nuclear. So Jake got to get themselves together, man. You got to get your mind right. If all they're just using is racism to keep your attention, you're not in the right zone, man. Okay? The race card is something Esau uses, and he's using right now. He's using right now. Donald Trump left viewers stunned during a Fox News interview when he dropped what he called the N-word on live television, only to reveal seconds later that he was talking about nuclear. Jake is not thinking about nuclear. Jake is not thinking that Babylon will be destroyed. The same place that destroyed you spiritually, mentally, and physically, you now want to have a stake in it. What? You don't want to leave? I want to say this again. Why, when you look at Jakes that talk about reparations and the things that happen to us, why is there not a movement of not reparations, but removal? Why has these so-called black people, African-American people, why have they not said, wait a minute, let's start to leave? Jake don't want to leave. Jake's so through, he can't leave. Okay? Let's be real here. Jake can't, they don't want to accept that. They don't want to talk about that. Jeremiah 4:22. I got to get ready for camp. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me, but they know the American dollar. Okay? They know America. All right? They know Crenshaw Boulevard, 3rd Street, Avenue A, 5th Gang. See? They're destroyed as a people. So this N-word will fix you. Okay? This N-word is what's going to fix you, because this is what's going to end us being N-words. Okay? And it says, they have not known me. All right? They have not known me. Who's me? Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And now they don't even know the prophets. They come against the prophets. They scoff at the prophets. They have killed the prophets. All right? Esau uses them to come against the prophets as a controlled enemy. They are sottish or stupid children. Man, see, they say, nigga say the N-word again. That's a traumatized vessel, okay? Our people are through, all right? And I'm not making fun of you, all right? This is coming from a place of sincerity. This is how jacked up we are as a nation, that you're still just thinking the N-word means nigger. And you never thought about nuclear? Damn, I never thought about that. Exactly. Now it's time to think. Let me go to Daniel. Now you think. Now you got to think, okay? And there's a very, very, very small remnant of thinkers amongst our people that are thinking now and not thinking on their own understanding. Daniel 12:2, and many of them that sleep in the dust, dust representing confusion. Dust representing confusion. You've been confused. You've been given what to be mad at. He's giving you where you should be mad at. He's giving you where you think you can talk about. See that? He's tricked you. Dust of the earth shall awake. Oh man, how long you been awoke? How long you been in the truth? And some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame and content. A lot of our people are still just stuck on the angle of racism for your vexation. You know, not the water, not the food, not the food, not the public schooling, not the ethical institutions. Okay, not the design. You are in a system that was created and constructed to control, keep you, and trap you, but you want the Federal Reserve note so that you can have a couple more tickets while playing in this dangerous cycle of system? Are you kidding me? You got to be crazy. You got to be legitimately crazy. It's like you want to stay in the house that Michael Myers killed you in as long as you get a bigger room. So as long as the room is bigger, you'll stay in the killer's house? Ask yourself that. Like, come on, man. We got to start actually thinking, okay? And it says, we're done with that. Let me go back. Jeremiah 4:22, they have none understanding, okay? This proves it. When you saw that, okay, the first thing that we thought about is the actual N word, meaning nigga. I didn't say nigga, I said nigger, right? But no. This is a bigger N word you need to be worrying about. Nuclear. And this is biblical prophecy. Okay, biblical prophecy, but they have none understanding of biblical prophecy. They may have a zeal, they may get upset, but they have no understanding. But now understanding is being showcased, and now we're seeing who the Lord is dealing with to receive understanding. Then the others that misunderstand. Then you miss the mark, and you're still just focused on the N word, referring to you as a nigga, or excuse me, nigger. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. But now knowledge is being showcased, okay? Knowledge and wisdom is being set out. Matter of fact, since I said that, let me go to Proverbs 8 real quick. Proverbs 8:1. Does not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the path. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O Israelite men, I call. So there's all these points where you'll have like old 90s clips of certain of our women that have not been completely thrashed by the wine of Babylon that actually speak back then about the importance of the Israelite man. So what are we seeing here? That the Lord is calling his Israelite men back. Okay, so if you have Israelite men that are not teaching you the prophecies, the correct understanding, the true name of your God and Savior, and the necessary steps for us to be finally freed, walk away. Okay, I have no problem stepping away from people. Okay, I've actually said, like, say you go somewhere, hey, would you like? I say, I'm gonna just take a step back. I'm not forced. I don't have to. You don't have to keep me there. Jake has this mythological loyalty because he sees skin folk, but that don't mean they kinfolk. Okay, you got to be aware who you're learning from and what their passion is. You know what their passion. Hey man, this shit's about to be destroyed. Why are you telling me about King David sandals? Why are you talking about reparations? There are people right now that are being pushed to still bring reparations. You know that? Let me go like this. Let me see if he comes up. I can't remember his names. Let me put Reparations March. Let me just see what comes up. Reparations March is context of Black history. We're not Black. And civil rights, which going back to the civil rights movement, this was a ploy. Okay. There was a lot of so-called Black businesses before the civil rights era. So what he did was to destroy you, was to so-called set up leaders to integrate you. This is why there's stories about Rosa Parks. And that's why she had to sit on the front of the white bus so that they could get Jakes to say, hey, we want to sit on the white bus too, instead of saying, hey, let's get our own buses. There's a lot of nasty history of deception that he has integrated you into his system so that he can have grasps back over you, and he used so-called Black leaders to do it. Okay? And then they still do it to this day. N-word, N-word, N-word. Which N-word are you worried about? Which N-word are you thinking about? Okay? A demonstration or march organized to advocate for reparations for Black Americans, but they don't want to remove Black Americans. Why do they never want to remove you? See, the Lord's going to remove you through nuclear prophecy. It says, particularly to address the ongoing legacy of slavery and racial discrimination. Okay, but are they still? Let's put 2025. Oh, I got one. I had to remember his name. Look, Reparation Task Force meeting. Where is it? I think it should be Rashad Evans or something. He's one of these guys. Look, what the fuck? Excuse me. What do you mean a reparations task force? Which reparation actually goes into repair, but money is not what's going to repair us. March 24th, 2025 included key updates. Okay, this ain't going to fix you, but you're marching. See this? These are the Black leaders that have caused you to err. Ain't none of them thinking about nuclear. Tony ain't thinking about nuclear. Robin Rue is cooking stew. She ain't thinking about nuclear. Okay? If they really knew what was going on, if they were really set up by Yahweh Shemel Shai, they would be screaming for you to get right with your God and your Savior before this plantation is burned down to the ground like Nottoway antebellum plantation did the other day. Okay? But they're not. All right? They're not worried about it. All right, because they want to be in the here and now. And that's why, because their heart's here and now. Their heart is for here. Matthew 6:24, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So their treasure is Babylon. Okay? Whether they want to admit it or not, you don't want to leave. You just want this place to give you more tickets to get on the rides like the oppressor was doing while you was tying shoes, cleaning, cooking for them, enslaving for them. No. We want to get out of here. Okay, and this place is prophesied to be destroyed, man. All right, let me get it. This is Isaiah 9. Excuse me. Let me see what I wanted. Isaiah 20. Let's go there real quick. Let me show you something. So this should bring everything into retrospect. Wait a minute. Hold on. We sitting here fucking marching, and this shit gonna be destroyed in our lifetime anyways. Fuck this march. How do I get out of here? How do I get saved? Remember, wait a minute. They want money, right? But will money save you in a nuclear fallout? Will money save you in a nuclear fallout? Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. Reparations profit not in the day of wrath. I'm not adding to the word. I'm just using that talking point as an example with this precept to bring in edification. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Death is coming. Death is coming. So reparations isn't going to deliver you. Reparations. That's not going to deliver you. See, Jake is so hurt. They want a quick fix. They just hit him one time for make me feel better, please. But the truth is what's going to make your spirit feel better. So really what Jake is showing is they need spiritual healing. They need spiritual healing. Okay. And the truth, the gospel is what does that. All right. Because if you still jacked up about the N-word in 2025, you need the gospel, man. Okay. You don't need reparations. You need to be removed from this place, and it starts spiritually and mentally, and then it will be spiritually again, quote unquote, physically. Okay. Now from there, let me get this Isaiah 20. What is Isaiah, or is Isaiah 14 and 20? Let me put this in real quick. Let's go right here. 24 and 20. All right, and I'm about to wrap it up. Isaiah 24. Check this out. Let's see what reparations do with this. Okay, because let's ask. What is reparations? What does it mean? What does it mean? Right? Reparations in general sense refers to the act of making amends for wrongdoing. What about eye for an eye? What about tooth for a tooth? What about he that sheddeth blood? The land can be bled. The land can be cleansed, but by the blood of him that shed it. Let me get that. Since I made these points, somebody could be watching and say, wait a minute, you got my attention, but can you please explain? Because I believe in the Bible too, but I've never, ever heard these examples of justice that you're speaking of. This is Numbers 35 and what is that, 33? Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defiled the land. But wasn't this land established by bloodshed and inequity, according to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter in the 12th verse? Habakkuk dose. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So let me say this. So for all these points of so-called black people talking about reparations, you don't care about your ancestors because blood was shed. So just because you get money doesn't mean that now cleanses the land of your ancestors' blood being shed to establish the land. So who are you really here for? Who really is pushing this reparation doctrine that got your ass in the street running for it? You need to question your notable leaders and what they're saying and who set them up. Why did MLK be given donations by Rothschilds? MLK, let's just put this in. Huh. What's up with this? Why were they close friends? Why is the same so-called notable leader that caused you to err was the same man that said it wasn't a wise idea to come up with your own bus system for only black people instead of telling you, no, we want to sit in the front of day bus instead of having your own. And then what did he say? I led my people into a burning house. Remember, leader of these people caused them to led my people into a burning house. So you shouldn't see, I fear I have integrated my people into a burning house, and that's the house of the thief, because he was a set up leader. Okay. So you got to start looking at these Sadnettas, these black excellences, and all this. Like, wait a minute, I get you're bringing light to what we've gone through, but no one is talking about how we're going to get out of this collectively, and money will not do it. The nuclear destruction of this place will do it, and that's what the N-word that Trump is referring to. Nuclear, end of his existence, his rulership, his world, and the beginning of ours to follow. Reparations doesn't bring the beginning of us. The destruction of Babylon. Esau's the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. That's what you got to understand. Okay? See? So how's the land going to be cleansed? By the bloodshed of him that shed our blood. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land, and then they're saying Revelations that she is drunken with the blood of the saints. Let me get that too. There might be a new listener. You are the saints. Gather my saints together that made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The nation of Israel is the only nation that made a covenant with Yahweh by sacrifice. Okay, and now it's Yahweh Bashmel Shai, because our sacrifice has now become Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is Revelations 17 and 6. And I saw the woman's referring to Babylon. America is the mystery daughter, Babylon the Great. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Strange fruit, summer breeze. Right? You know that song. You know that shit. That shit, you feel that shit. Okay, but guess what? We still acknowledge what has done, but we don't just talk about reparations. We're actually talking about the payback that's coming for strange fruit hanging on a tree in the summer breeze. Okay? Jake just wants to get money from those that put him on the tree. We telling you he's going to burn like a tree. This place is going to burn, man. So who's really talking about what's really going to free us and fix us here? But that's a white man book. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So see, this place was built off bloodshed and iniquity. And in actuality, the specific blood of the saints who are the children of Israel, who are the children of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. And it says that if the blood is shed, the only way that the land can be cleansed, and they cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So Jake don't even want the land to be cleansed. Jake just greedy. Jake wants to be fat, loud, with an attitude, with money. So they're not even ready to rule. You're worried about the wrong things, my nigga. You're worried about the wrong things. World War III is about to break out. The dollar's about to collapse. You over here marching with his everything on, yelling for reparations, using your American constitutional right just to stay here in America when America is going to be destroyed according to prophecy, because it is the virgin daughter Babylon the Great that is drunken with the blood of the saints. You got to get your priorities together. You got to get your N-words together. You need to get your N-words together, my nigga. Okay? What N-word are you thinking about here? What N-word? See? Small-minded, man. You got to be careful of that. And that's a very stagnant, traumatized angle to rope our people in. All right? That's a very emotional angle to use to get our people to march with you. Let me end it off on, let me show you what's going to happen to this landmass that you're standing on. Isaiah 24:20. We can go to Babylon specific destruction. We can go to Babylon specific destruction because someone will say, where does it say Babylon? This is Jeremiah. What did we want? Let's go to 50. We can go down to 29. We can get a lot. Look, Jeremiah 15:22. A sound of battle is in the land and of a great destruction. A great destruction to where? The place that you're marching at asking for reparations. You know how silly that sounds? That proves that our leaders are not our leaders. They're not leading you to a path that brings in salvation, okay? They're leading you down a path that's going to bring great destruction to you. It may feel good in the moment because you need that feel of liberation. It made you feel good because subconsciously you know you're still a slave. So you want these little jabs. You want these little points of individual freedom when we collectively, a nation, are still not free. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? What's the hammer? Babylon, America, who you're asking for a financial payment from. And they're getting ready to be destroyed by global powers around the world. So what's going to happen to you? If America is an enemy to superpowers, what's that mean is going to happen to you? When you go into war and you look up the history of war, ask yourself where your position was during the French-Indian War. What was your position during the Revolutionary War? You were a slave, you were a cleaner, you were in forced labor, you knitted, you sewed, or there you were lied to. Well, come help us, come help the British and we'll free you. And then he said, no, come help the patriots, come help the patriot colonists, we'll free you. See, they lied to you, Jake, and they're still lying to you now. What N-word are you really worried about? How is the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Not through reparations. Babylon becomes a desolation among the nations through prophetic war. That's what we're waiting on. So miss me with it. I hear you. I understand your trauma and your tears, but that ain't real freedom, brother, sister. Real freedom comes from our enemy being destroyed. Isaiah 24:20, and the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard when this place gets destroyed. And remember, she got the world drunk, so now her ass going to be going to and fro like a drunkard. When Babylon gets destroyed, the earth going to shake and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Wouldn't you rather that? Wouldn't you rather the place that had you in captivity, hurt you, murdered you, raped you, robbed you, still to this day, mentally, spiritually, physically? Wouldn't you rather it be destroyed than you walking around and dealing with the captors, relatives that still feel this way about you? Money ain't gonna fix you, Jake. Money ain't gonna fix you, man. So get out of that I'm just a black angry man in America spirit. You have the right to be angry, but what is the solution? What knowledge have you gained to subside that anger, to give you spiritual peace? Because you know in the end you do win. And that's this truth. That's this gospel. That's this good news. That's this understanding. All the avenues that Jake has been given to a path of freedom, it stops at a fucking red door, a black door, a white door. And it stops. And you got to wait. And you got to suppress yourself. And you got to accept Esau still. This freedom means no more Edom. And he goes into slavery before there will be no more Edom. Y'all ain't talking about Edom receiving payback. Come on, man. Come on, man. So let me end it off on this. The water for the precepts. Ecclesiasticus, or also known as Sirach. All right. Sirach, no Diddy. You know what I mean? Because Jake's so low level, you say Sirach, he's thinking alcohol. I may have a comedic laughing point, but there's truth to it. Comedia, food for thought. If we say Sirach and you think liquor, this place has failed you. Ecclesiasticus 25:7, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. To be happy. You ain't gonna be happy with money in Babylon as long as your enemy is still over you judicially, constitutionally, okay? And the 10th, I will utter with my tongue, a man that has joy of his children. You can't even have joy of your children here. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. That's where we're at. Our talking point through the Holy Spirit is we're going to tell you the reparations that we're going to receive will also consist with the fall of our enemies, because our repair comes with their destruction. All right. We're being repaired now spiritually and mentally while being corrected before we're setting an order before their eyes. But then they got to deal with the destruction as well. See, you just want reparation, then it ends? No. You worried about the wrong N word. You're not looking at what real justice is. So, I just want to do that quick lesson. I pray that it was edifying. I pray that it was enlightening. It brings some retrospect, some reality to your current condition of you in this system collectively and you as a nation of people, and what really will fix you or fix us or deliver us or get us out of this current situation. And it's not a Federal Reserve note. And Esau's such a devil, he'll give you your reparations through the market of beasts. So be aware. Be aware. So with that being said, I got to get ready for camp. So I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. And with that being said, shalom.